looks like Morgan Rogers will be a player in demand. Newspaper reports this morning suggest that multiple Premier League clubs, plus some of the European giants, all want to sign the Aston Villa star. Dave Reed has joined us for a bit more on this now. It's probably a story that you're not really enjoying talking about. But what are the newspapers saying about Morgan Rogers?
I mean, first thing to say is that interest in Morgan Rogers isn't that surprising because he's Aston Villa's best attacking player and he's been consistent over the last couple of years and therefore his performances have brought the attention of some of Europe's best clubs. But just to summarise what the newspapers are saying, first of all, Jason Burt in the Telegraph talked about Manchester United, Arsenal, Chelsea, even Paris Saint-Germain. Of course, Villa played PSG in the Champions League last season. Reported interest there, and then the Mirror followed that up today and also added Bayern Munich to the list, and that would obviously then partner Morgan Rogers with Harry Kane, and they could be lining up with each other come the summer at the World Cup.
OK. So all those clubs, Jay, if you're including all the English clubs, those giants from Europe as well, who do you think should sign him? Who needs him the most? Where would he make the most difference?
Arsenal. He walks into Arsenal's team. He plays week in, week out on the left hand. With Eze, I think Eze is probably Arsenal's number 10. I would like to see Morgan Rogers playing there and in tuck inside. But I think he's a great player. When you mentioned Bayern Munich, I don't think Bayern Munich's the one because Luis Diaz is there. He's playing unbelievably well. Then you've got Musiala that's coming back, Leonard Cole, who's a fantastic young player, and then obviously Elise. So I don't think Rogers would fit into that if he wants to play week in, week out. PSG, similar thing. They've got some great attacking players. I think the one that stands out there is Arsenal. I mean, even Man United, yeah, maybe. But I feel like they've got Cunha, they've got Mbuemo. Fernandes is going to probably play as a number 10 next season, higher up Diallo. When they sign their midfielders, Diallo. I feel like Arsenal's the one.
Top earners in doing so, and that contract now runs till 2031. So Villa hold the cards in that sense. There's also there's been no signs from the player's side that he's agitating to leave. He's happy at Aston Villa and has been so. The key to this is if Villa qualify for the Champions League next season, vital. You would think if they don't qualify for the Champions League, then that would open the door to a significant player sale. If they do, there's even a sense that Villa still might have to do some form of sale next season. Now, fans watching this might say, well, Villa posted a profit in their latest accounts at the squad cost ratio, which limits spending on wages, transfer amortisation to 70% of club revenue. That's what Villa have been battling with. There's also a football earnings rule that Villa are trying to comply with as well with UEFA. They entered into an agreement last year and came to a settlement with UEFA. And that means for this current season, they're essentially tied to only losing around €5 million between at the start of the season and the end of the reporting period in 2026. This season, obviously, Villa don't have Champions League football. It might well be difficult to balance that.
But when I heard him speak, it sounded like he had real ambition. They asked him a question about the England team, and he didn't say he was just happy to be in the squad. He said he wants to be starting. That's how much he believes in himself. Now, Aston Villa are a big club, but I feel like he's now looking at it saying, I want to be playing at one of the biggest clubs in the world, and I'm good enough to do that. There's no doubt about it. Aston Villa have been great for them, and I think they're a great manager, a great club with a great manager. But even then, I'm looking at Emery and saying, will he be there in the long term? You know, can you imagine if Real Madrid do come for him and say, you know, we want you to be our manager for next season? What happens then? Is Morgan Rogers going to want to stay if the manager leaves?
But how much is he worth in today's market, do you think?
I mean, it's going to be like 80s at least, I reckon.
Yeah. Chance if he has a good one.
Yeah.
His value goes up another 20, 30 million.
And that ties in with his ambition. You know, he played under Michael Carrick at Middlesbrough, a championship player. And Rodgers has joked that Unai Emery used to call him the championship player in training when he first joined. And that just shows how far he's come in such a short space of time. And now we're talking about him starting over a Real Madrid superstar in Jude Bellingham. Yeah. And that will be part of the negotiation. If it comes to that, from a Villa point of view, you go, well, hang on, he's starting over someone like Jude, who plays for Real Madrid.
Yeah. Yeah, but you know what, to be honest, I said this, people were looking at me before when I said this, like, you know, I like to come early with my little takes. Yes. But I said this about Morgan Rogers. I said that I actually think he's got more ability as a number 10 than Jude Bellingham. I look at Jude Bellingham, I think he's an 8. I think he's a box-to-box midfielder that arrives, great finisher, but he's strong, he's powerful. He gets back as well, makes big tackles. Well, I look at